All right, recording, and here we go.
Toy Power Podcast is a free podcast made possible by the support of our awesome Patreon sponsors. Head to toypowerpodcast.com and see how you can help.
Oh yeah, this is power.
Hello and welcome to Toy Power, the podcast where we talk toys and everything pop culture. G'day, it's Trent here, and it is fantastic to have your company today for episode 392. This week on the show, we assemble our crack team as we tackle Star Wars vintage villains. And then we move on to our preview for the movies that are coming in 2025 as we give them our hit or shit rating.
Yes, it's nothing like starting a 2025 movie rating quarter of the way through the year.
It's okay. It's okay. We have some absolute pearlers in there. Joining me today in the Toy Power studio, we've got Ben,
G'day.
Frank,
Hello.
and Scotty.
I'm sitting here in my hands, and this goes back to last week's episode, the insane parcel we received from Colin Betts. I have Starlog Magazine, issue 41, Ming the Merciless, Max von Sydow on the front cover. I opened this during the week, and I had a look. This is original 1980s December.
Wait, so it's not like a
1980.
reprint or anything? Like
No.
This is 44 years old.
Wow.
This is vintage magazine.
It's older than me.
Like, it's just... it's not older than me.
drink it in.
It's got that smell, that paper smell.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. This is amazing. This is absolutely treasured. Thank you, mate.
Wow.
Honestly, thank you so much.
Yes, and thank you, Colin.
Yeah,
Just amazing.
Massive thanks to Colin for the extremely generous gift. I mean, the contents of alone and the thought that went into that
thought and
hand-painted
care.
items and thought and the care. But that magazine, Scotty, it looks brand... I mean, the pages obviously look age when you open it. But from the outset, it is absolutely mint.
Yeah.
There's no creases.
It's incredible.
There's no dog earring on it.
Yeah.
The spine is perfectly intact. It's as mint. It's like a 9.8 if you were to send it into CGC for grading. I love it.
Incredible. What else is in there? Alien Spectacular?
Yeah, there's...
I might need to borrow it.
There you go. Right up on Aliens. There's a right up on John Carpenter's New York, Escape from New York.
New York.
Wow.
How much goodness can you pack into one magazine?
Yeah. Wonderful. All right. It is time to assemble our teams.
Idea to bring together a group of remarkable people to see if they could become something more. To see if they could work together when we needed them to fight the battles that we never could.
Let me get my big stamp out. Certified banger.
Yeah, it is. We were rocking out to that.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
good.
Toy Power mixtape.
Yeah,
I mean, we came
Oh.
up with the idea. We was like, we need a song for this. I was like, surely you get the 18 thing. It's like, someone's done a dance remix out there. Somebody has.
Yeah.
And quick search on YouTube, and there it is.
Just enough so it doesn't get flagged on Spotify.
Oh, yeah, there's a voiceover on that that's not part of the original recording.
She'll be good.
Very, very good. Hey, it's time to assemble our team. We've got wheelmen and muscle and leaders and the vehicles. Specialists. But this time we are tackling characters from 1978 to 1985 vintage Star Wars from Kenner.
Kenner Star Wars, so good.
What a great era.
The toy line of my childhood. This is what it's all about.
Okay, what have we got? We got leader, muscle, specialist, wheelman, and then their vehicle that they've got to get around in.
Love it. All right, who's going to kick it off?
All right, I've got Trent as the first one on the list, so he gets to start off each category, please.
Well, this is a really interesting one, isn't it? Leader almost speaks for itself. We've got a couple of characters to choose from, in my opinion, although we can go a little bit left of field if you want to. The big bad, really, of this franchise is Darth Vader. Let's face it, he is the iconic villain, but not to be overshadowed by Grand Moff Tarkin, who is technically
His
kind
boss?
of his boss.
Yeah.
He's working for the Grand Moff, and later on the Emperor, who actually got a figure because Grand Moff Tarkin never got an action figure in the vintage line. He's a pretty powerful sort of leader. Got lots of good powers. Pretty good strategist as well.
Darth Vader?
Darth Vader.
Wait,
Yeah.
who you'd go on
Yeah.
Darth Vader?
Yeah,
was
I think-
wondering which
sorry.
reason you're going.
He's a pretty handy pilot
Yeah.
too.
He's a handy pilot. Yeah, he's got some good magic powers. handy with a Swiss Army knife and lightsaber.
And a bit of a chokehold here and there.
So I think you have to go beyond. I mean, Emperor Palpatine, great shadowy villain, and electricity can get you out of a pickle.
Hey man, if your phone's gone flat,
Phone's
who you
gone
want
flat.
hanging around?
Quick charge. You've got elevator shafts. You got to get up, zap it into action. But look,
Car won't start.
there's so many uses. But I'm gonna have to lock in the wonderful Darth Vader. Funnily enough, not a lot of reissues of some of the villains in this line, and Darth Vader, famously released in the New Hope line 78, had the telescopic lightsaber,
Double
telescope,
yep.
but we never got another version of Darth Vader.
No, Hasbro are making up for that by re-releasing him every 35 minutes, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, correct.
The
There's
Hasbro
about
Batman to McFarlane's
There's about 1 billion since. But funnily enough, when they did the Obi-Wan series and they've done those retros, they put out a Darth Vader from that TV show that actually had two hands and you could put the lightsaber into a hand rather than the telescopic. So that was, to me, the sort of... I was quite happy to get that Vader into my collection because it was the first kind of regular non-action feature Darth Vader that we got. So very cool. I'm going to have to lock in Darth Vader.
Darth Vader, fair enough.
Ben, you're next.
Well, you named 3 pretty darn iconic villains, and I have to agree with those choices. But I'm going to go for someone different. Another leader that you failed to mention, right? A leader that sort of piped up at the first episode, even though he was added in afterwards by old mate George Lucas.
Yes.
And then got his shine in the third film.
Okay.
And this is of the slug variety. I'm going to go Jabba the Hutt. Just for something different, just to, because he kind of ruled the planet. He
was a crime lord.
That's right. That's right.
That's a solid shout out, isn't it? Yeah, I like that one. Frank?
I went a lot. I mean, naturally, you said Vader and Palpatine is where you go. I went a bit left to the middle, and I probably went even more left than Ben did. I went with Bib Fortuna because if you look at what happens later on, Bib Fortuna is the, and I forget the character's name from Lord of the Rings, but he's the guy
Bring a
who's
Wormtongue?
yes,
Yeah.
he's the guy with the plan. Jabba the Hutt's just a big fat guy who's just sitting there taking advice from Bib Fortuna, and eventually, as we know,
Takes
you
over.
know, he takes over when Jabba finally carks it, and so I'm like, he's the smart one. So
He's
I'm-
one to watch.
that's
the
right.
Sly
He's
dog.
That's right.
Yeah.
Be careful of the quiet
The Star
ones.
Scream.
Bib.
The Star Scream.
All right, so to round out this first category, we have no crossovers whatsoever.
Wow.
This is it. I like this. It
wasn't
makes
gonna
it
pick that.
interesting.
Yeah.
Makes you think. Yeah.
I've gone way left of field as well. So
Cool.
from
Salacious Crumb.
Empire Strikes Back, from that bounty hunter scene,
Yes.
I've chosen Zuckuss. Okay.
Okay.
And he, if you look at the expanded universe and his history, he tried to unionize the bounty hunters.
So just to clarify, because I'm not super Star Wars,
Yeah, me too.
is that the bug character?
That's the guy with the big fly's eyes.
yes,
That's right.
yes,
Yep.
the androidy bug.
Although,
character.
technically, when they released the toys, they got them mixed up. So he was actually labelled as Forlom. But Forlom is...
Forlom to
technically-
Zuckuss.
Yeah, from
Okay.
Forlom to Zuckuss.
Right.
But Forlom is the more robot, like he's a C-3PO kind of
Yes.
body in
Yep.
black with kind of like a more alien-esque type head.
Right.
Yep. Okay.
Yep. So Zuckuss was my choice because he's a bad guy, bounty. Well, is he a bad guy? He's just a.
He's a
Maybe
bounty hunter.
misunderstood.
He's
Yeah,
like-
he's got an ABN.
That's out there. He's just
Lodging his quarterly business activity statement.
small
Trying to
business entrepreneur. Trying to unionize, make life and wages better for all of his bounty hunter brethren. That's my choice.
Cool. Oh, I like this. I
Union
like
leader.
this. Oh, this is good.
All right, we're up to the muscle category, and for me, one of the great action figures of the line, makes a tasty snack if you're a Rancor. It is the Gamorrean Guard, and they are good at fighting. As the Disney universe will tell us, they do like fighting bare-chested in the ring. Very, very specialised there, but a lot of muscle for the Gamorrean Guard. Fairly heavy-set sort of characters, but I reckon you'd want to have one of them in your corner if there was a bit of a skirmish to break out.
Yeah, I like it. That's a good.
Not
call.
the smartest,
No.
but good with the muscle, and that's all we need
He's a big
here.
boy.
100%. I had the Gamorrean Guard as well. Not from the Robin Hood line, but famously redone. But yeah, I thought muscle, they are just brutes. They're very cool. Build a little bit of an army of them and they'd be unstoppable. So Gamorrean Guard, it is for me.
3 from 3, to be
Ooh,
completely
wow.
honest. But I sort of figured, this is one where you kind of need an alternate. I had and I might have the name wrong here, but is it the Imperial Guard, the red?
Yep.
Where he's the all red.
The Emperor's Royal Guard.
Emperor's Royal Guard, sorry. Yeah, I just remember that really striking. They're there to guard the boss man. If they're guarding whoever the leader is of this team, then, a scary dude in a red suit where you just can't see him, and you can see him because he's bright red, but you can't see his face. You can't see what he's thinking.
Could be angry. He could be smiling.
That's right. He could just be asleep.
In the future films, did they have Jedi? Did they have powers? Like, could they manipulate or not?
There was sort of they did
force
a bit
manipulation.
Yeah,
is
that's
what
right.
I'm
A little
trying
bit
to
of
say.
force sensitivity in them.
Yeah,
that's
interesting.
Right.
So that levels them up a
That's
little bit.
cool.
So I'll go the Royal Guard just for something different.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. We're split down the middle because I chose sort of Emperor's Royal Guard as well. Yeah, and
choice.
it's all about the mystique. It's not I'm a brute.
Yep.
I'm a big muscle-bound guy. I stand in the corner.
Yep.
I'm quiet and I observe, and you can tell by my demeanor. You can tell by my aura that if I do something wrong, if I step out of line, shit going down.
Yeah.
Don't mess with the big red
Cool.
dude.
I
Actually,
like this. I like this.
I'd seen, just on the Royal Guards, I'd seen a number of deleted scenes over my Star Wars fandom and passion to seek out these things. That famous scene where Luke builds his own lightsaber at the start of Jedi that got cut. They go through a sandstorm. There's a whole heap of scenes that it got shot but sort of never made it. There is Moff Gideon, who's overseeing the construction of the final Death Star in Return of the Jedi. I think he survives Empire Strikes Back as generals or Moffs around him are getting choked. This is the famous, choke from the office, choke while teleconferencing from home.
over Zoom,
Remotely. So they're getting knocked off left, right, and center. He survives. But there are some scenes with him trying to stop Vader from getting in to see the Emperor. And there's a bit of a standoff where the Royal Guards kind of, they don't quite know what they're going to do. And I'm glad they cut it because they look a bit goofy, sort of trying to protect the Emperor from Vader and not let him in. And I think it spoils that mystique of them just sort of hovering in the background. But there was a scene of them having a little bit more action that got cut from Return of the Jedi.
okay.
Wow. Okay.
Interesting.
Very, very, very cool. All right, we're up to the specialist now, and I hope we don't have 4 from 4 here, but I think it has to go to the coolest character of the Star Wars universe pre-Disney, and that is one Boba Fett, who, again, was part of the unionization of bounty hunters, or lack thereof. Of unionization.
I think he was actually opposed to the
Opposed,
unionization.
yeah.
Oh, there
He
you go.
he didn't
Wanted to go
need
solo.
everyone else's help.
Um,
Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Toy Power.
my favorite mysterious character from the original trilogy, and then he got kind of, in my opinion, watered down in the prequels by having a young
He
kid.
was cool because of what
Boba!
you didn't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Dad, get him! Shoot him, Dad! Come on, man! Come on, Tamura! Shoot the baddie!
Is this just an Australian New Zealand thing? Like,
well, I don't know. There's something about that just makes it less cool.
yes.
Having a New Zealand
It
accent.
picks up the helmet, and in the cutscene, it has the head drop out of the helmet.
Yeah.
And then he was probably even more maybe diluted in the Disney series Boba Fett, Book of Boba Fett. But taking that away, because when we played with these toys, we knew none of that was coming. I think he is a specialist. He does have command over a number of gadgets and gizmos.
He's
and
Batman.
He's prepared. He's Batman. He's Batman in the Star Wars universe. He's got a jetpack. How cool are jetpacks? Pretty much the only character that has a jetpack in that universe until
Watch out for
everyone had
random Sarlacc
jetpacks.
pits.
Yeah, that's right. He has a aversion to sand in the end. So I think he's a cool character. I think brilliant design. Ralph McQuarrie did a wonderful design. I think originally he was going to be part of a elite squadron of sort of white stormtroopers, another kind of elite stormtrooper, and they made the original suit, and they were going to make a whole heap. But I think
Too expensive.
it was too expensive from memory. So they basically got this one suit they'd made, battered him up, and turned him into Boba Fett. So I think it's a wonderful design, a very cool backstory to a character. And it showed us in Star Wars, a character could walk on the screen for 5 seconds and you would just, the imagination would kind of fill in the blank. And I'm sure they had sort of backstories or ideas for these characters. But I just think Star Wars pioneered the cool background character.
100% it did.
Which is wonderful.
For sure. Yep. For me, I'm choosing another specialist, another bounty hunter in that fact. Rewind back to Ben as a 16-year-old, right? Reading the expanded universe novelizations of that came out. So I read Tales of the Bounty Hunters, right? And that was sort of after reading, Shadows of the Empire, right? I want to know more. What else is out there? Bam! I love Boba Fett. I love the Bounty Hunters. That fleeting scene that we saw them all lined up. Yep, cool. I'm going to read that, and that gives a fantastic expanded universe on what avenues they went for. Gave in cinema, in timeline trajectory of what each of those 5 bounty hunters did and how they, came to their demise, or how they didn't end up with Han and whatever else, capturing Luke. The specialist, right? 100% the specialist of that lot, IG-88. He took over the Death Star seconds before it was exploded, right? He put his mind into the Death Star and then had a clone droid of him running out looking for the bounty hunter, and then he just got evaporated because Luke shot the Death Star down. So IG-88, 100%. That's the specialist, and I will hear no different.
Well, I think, and that's one thing I really loved from The Mandalorian was taking IG-88. I know they made him into IG-11, but essentially they animated and they gave that droid a persona and what he would be like in action. And it's all sort of puppetry done, like it's sort of, very, very Star Wars in its way they've executed him. But I reckon it's some of the coolest sequences we've seen in modern Star Wars, with the way he sort of
swivels,
pivoting, his arms are pivoting and he's shooting, and you see him in action.
That's the difference between a droid and a regular person that can't swivel that way.
Can't move that way.
Yeah.
Yep. For specialist, I went with someone that, like an infiltrator type thing. I'm a big fan of that. If we're relating this back to the A-Team, then it's face. Who can be anyone. I want someone that you're not going to notice. Now a lot of Star Wars, your bounty hunters, your Boba Fetts. I figured bounty hunters would be popular in this category. They stand out because they're scary looking dudes. You know who you don't notice is the power droid.
Oh,
he's a little square and he's on 2 legs and he's about 2 foot high. He can just potter around any enemy base wherever he goes, and people go, "It's Power Droid. What's he gonna do?"
He's just powering up someone's mobile phone.
He's gonna do the R2D2. He's gonna plug into the system, and he'll be able to do whatever the hell he wants to the Death Star.
Is this the real square navy blue?
That's the square little keg on legs. That's
the Gonk Droid.
Gonk Droid, yeah.
Is that what it's called?
That's a Gonk Droid. That's what he's officially called these days.
I thought it was. I remember looking at the actual toys, and it was called the Power Droid.
I have one at home, and I call him a Gonk Droid.
Okay. Well,
Power Gonk Droid.
All right. The little
we're both correct.
legs.
I will list him as Power Gonk Droid.
Power Gronk. Power Gronk. That just sounds wild. That's
Power Gronk.
That's a band name.
Gonk Power then. Gonk Power.
Gonk Power.
That's a cool band name. Yeah.
Specialist. Look, I want to do a special shout out to Dr. Evazan. Okay, he's a surgical specialist in 7 different systems. He also has a death penalty in 7 different systems.
He's not a very good
I
surgeon.
don't know
is
how
he?
good a specialist he is.
Sounds like the Star Wars version of Dr. Nick, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Where was he in the universe? Like, well,
Cantina.
Cantina
Oh,
scene.
right,
He was
yes.
with Ponda Baba, who
man.
had impromptu
Robot
surgery.
chicken.
The architect.
Robot Chicken has destroyed that
Yeah.
scene for me.
That is the classic robot chicken.
Well, what are you saying? You know,
Yeah.
he can't. He's an
He
architect.
likes you. Yeah. Bro, I didn't. Oh.
But he doesn't qualify because he didn't get
He
a
didn't
toy
get a
in the
figure.
original
No.
toy line.
Although he's getting one soon in the retro collection.
He will, and he will be a part of our collection, I would imagine. Look, I'm looking for a guy who he maybe doesn't blend in, but he's got a good set of skills. He's a personal person. He can work with his boss. He's multilingual. He can work in any given hostile environment. Bib Fortuna is my choice as specialist because I think he can just move into any role, any organisation, drop of a hat. He's designed to blend in, accumulate, and acclimatise to whatever the environment is and work straight away.
So who's Bob Fortuna? Is that the
Bib Fortuna.
Bob. Who's Bob?
He was the translator for Boba for Jabba.
Yes,
the
yes,
Hutt.
the one with the wraps around
Yeah,
his
he's a Twi'lek.
Yeah.
But instead of having them both hang down by his side, he's sort of got
He
one
wraps them around.
wrapped around.
Well, I imagine like girls that grow their hair really long.
wear your hair differently,
yeah, you just wear it differently, and that's how he chose, and he was scary as hell. So,
he was. Cool. Very good. So that's all our specialists, yeah?
Yep. Wheelman next.
Wheelman, this is I've got a couple of good candidates here. They're generic army builder style
Yep,
characters.
there's a
So
few.
we've got a couple of, I guess, pretty good pilots or vehicle drivers, you could say. We've got the TIE fighter pilot, who are probably a bit hit and miss with how they control their vehicles. Parallel parking. I wouldn't trust them with my car. But, they're not too
Look
bad.
at it this way. How many TIE fighter pilots die in those movies?
They do go down pretty well. So I probably have to give it to the 8080 pilot or driver, 8080 drivers, who kind of look like a bit like a cross between a stormtrooper, a snowtrooper, and a TIE fighter pilot, all mixed together. Very, very cool helmet.
Yeah.
They have a better track record. And I think you give it to them on the fact that they can maneuver a very slow-moving vehicle, but a heavy vehicle at that. And they didn't have reversing cameras in those things. So a bit more of a challenge to navigate. So I've got to give it to the 8880 pilot or driver that got a very, very cool figure in the return of the Empire Strikes Back toy line.
In fairness, TIE fighter pilots, the TIE fighter itself sacrificed shielding for engine power and maneuverability. So they had no shields. Like one hit, bang, done, you dusted.
Yep.
That's why they look like turds, because they don't last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Turds don't last.
Turds don't last.
This episode writes itself.
All right, Wheelman, it has to be the iconic Darth Vader, right? He jumped on that his own little ship, his own little TIE fighter ship, and he just owned it. He was millimeters away from taking down and changing the whole destiny of the movie, the franchise, everything except for that other TIE fighter clipped his wing and took him off. But fortunately, he survived. That was the way he survived, by getting out of that trench, as fate would have it. But he proved his, not only his skills on the ground, but his skills on the air and driving a vehicle in that moment. So
He's a good pilot, best pilot in the galaxy.
How long did Anakin spend spinning around in space in that tin can before they found him?
Have you seen that clip that they basically, from when he gets jettisoned from the trench to when you actually see him come out of his spin and then take off, they play that like in the bottom corner as they play the film, and he's just there for like a minute just spinning. It's fantastic.
like a loading screen.
Yeah.
When we're talking Wheelman, I immediately think of like more driving, which is perhaps unfair given we're talking about Star Wars. But in that context, I'm thinking more of like a bus driver, right? Who's got a bus driver physique in the Star Wars line? Well, it's got to be the Rancor keeper, right? Right? Put a little hat on him, put a name badge on him. He's a bus driver. If he can handle a Rancor and get that thing to go where he wants, he can drive anything, right?
I like your logic.
He can do it all.
And to back up your claim, there is zero chance that he hadn't climbed on that Rancor and ridden it around. Yeah. He's ridden that damn Rancor around.
That's why I was so sad.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
He lost his rhino.
Yeah.
Look, my decision is Forlom to pair with Zuckus that I chose earlier because the two have to go together. And essentially, Forlom was the pilot. He did all the driving while Zuckus just kicked back, sucking cocktails down in the back of the cabin. And they were the formidable team up. They were the guys who got it done and dusted with as bounty hunters. So Forlom is my choice as the Wheelman.
Oh, there you go.
All right, the last category, mode of transportation.
Yeah, it's a big one when you're talking Star Wars.
Star Wars, a lot of very cool vehicles, and for me, again, it was cool before it was made uncool. I'll refer to it by its name because I think that's politically okay to do. I refer to it as the Slave One, which is now no longer called the Slave One in the modern universe because, I mean, we don't like slavery. We don't condone slavery for sure, but I think it's now Boba Fett's Starship, which just doesn't sound as cool.
Didn't it have a different name altogether? Like it was some sort of, I can't remember what it was, but I didn't think it was as generic as Boba Fett's Starship, but I'm probably
Could be.
wrong.
Not sure.
Always known as Slave One, and
But
then
then when it was rebadged,
it got
I thought-
Disneyfied to Boba Fett's Starship.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That's a bit
Yeah.
generic.
The Imperial Shuttle for me.
Oh, yeah, it's a cool
the
vehicle,
fact
isn't it?
that the size, the fact that those wings fold down, you know, it just you can have all your characters in the back plus more, bring along
Plus
the
a
Rancor
whole-
if he's worried about staying by himself. The Imperial Shuttle is just a imposing thing to come into view. It's going to go down when you see that thing on the radar coming at you. That whole trilogy of wings and things like that is just such a cool.
It's very Transformers G1-esque,
Yeah.
with the early, first three
Cybertron. Yeah.
I think, the designs of these ships are amazing, and that is no exception, an absolutely brilliantly designed ship. I mean, if it was Ralph McQuarrie, he was actually like a Boeing engineer or draftsperson for Boeing. Industrial designer, I think is what you call it. So a lot of very real-world sort of
Attributes.
These sort of commercial stuff. But and as much as I love that vehicle, it feels to me like a space taxi.
It feels
like,
slow.
Yeah, like, okay, Emperor's got to get from there to there. Take the space taxi, the shuttle. We got to sneak a whole heap of guys in green from that ship to the planet moon of Endor, put them in the taxi, and down we go.
Yep.
Like, I'd love to see that in a bit of action. Like, what can it do? Can it maneuver? Or is it more of a
shuttle bus.
a bus? Is it a bus?
It's like the shuttle bus.
Is
at
it
the
a
airport.
glorified bus?
Well, the A-Team is a bus.
It is a
Yeah.
bus. It's true.
Look, on those lines, that leads directly into my call out for the vehicle is the Imperial Cruiser, which, if you remember the Toyline, it is essentially a hovering bus. It's basically a large box where you can fit
Yes.
6 figures standing up. So the figures
That's
basically have little pockets that they sit in. It's kind of the Star Wars equivalent of battle bones.
Yeah.
You can get 3 figures on each side. You get 2 in the driver's seat. It's look, compared to the aesthetics of like everything else in Star Wars, it's ugly as hell. But it'll carry all of your team and then some. People they rescue or whatever. And the Rancor keeper does not look out of place driving it.
No. So that's your call?
Yep,
So that's an interesting call. You've picked something
it's an
that
actual toy.
was a toy, never in the movies.
Yes.
Well, that was
correct.
the
Yeah.
category.
They,
It was-
no,
it was-
that's
it was
great.
canon,
I
yeah.
love it. Just my little bit of trivia was in The Mandalorian.
They had it.
They did introduce that. So there is a scene
Oh.
towards the end where Giancarlo Esposito is basically come out of the building, and they rock up in one of these, and they literally get out of
open these tiny
pockets.
little doors. Yeah,
It's hilarious, but I love the fact they built it in.
Every single episode of the team, it's a race to be shotgun. To sit down, I'm standing up.
Ah,
again,
damn.
you know?
Strapped in
I
on
want
the
to see.
side.
No, you're standing.
Yeah.
He's standing in the bus.
All right, Scotty, last one.
It's the big man himself and his one-off TIE fighter, Darth Vader's TIE fighter,
The Interceptor.
with the folded wings, that unique design that nobody else had access to. No one else got to fly around. Absolutely perfectly iconic. And to me, that was it's the ship I want to have hanging from my ceiling. Yep. They released it as part of Power of the Force 2, and I'm trying to find one of those. But it came out as a Kenner vehicle back in the day, and I think that's probably the titular vehicle from the line for me.
Did the TIE bombers have the same wings, or am I getting...
Different wings.
Slightly different. They had, again, more of the...
They had the two pods.
Yes,
but
two pods.
instead of the straight up and down, they had this shape.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Whereas Vader's was more like triangular, facing forward. Is that
He
right?
still had the angular, the sort of the three-sided...
Yeah.
But the TIE bomber had
Maybe it was straight
same
up
wings,
and down.
but two pods.
Yeah.
And he only had the singular pod.
Yes.
and he had this shape.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
You're right. Yep.
Cool.
All right.
Very cool.
Lads,
That was diverse. I like it.
all over the place,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Well, now it gets difficult because from our very diverse choices, we need to pick
A leader.
a leader. So circling back, we had Darth Vader, Jabba the Hutt, Bib Fortuna, and Zuckuss. Who is our leader? Powerful, charismatic, rally the troops, forcefully control the troops, force choke the troops.
I think if we don't go Vader, we're going to lose some listeners.
I mean, I deliberately went left because I figured Vader is the obvious candidate,
Same.
really.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm happy.
I mean, he rules by fear, right? Like, he's not someone that's like, hey, guys, let's go grab
let's
some
go do a
beers
good
at
job
the end of this."
today.
Yeah.
Go team.
But I think he is the obvious choice.
Fear is
Poor
a
leader.
powerful motivator.
There are some bosses in the workplace who still use that method.
Yeah. All right. So happy with that?
Yeah, let's
Lock in
go
Vader.
All right, done. Muscle is our next category. We had a split choice here. We had the Gamoran Guard from Return of the Jedi, and also from Return of the Jedi, the Emperor's Royal Guard. Both solid choices.
I think muscle-wise, the Gamorrean guards
Yep.
are more muscly and visually imposing.
Yeah.
But from a what do you call it?
Intimidation.
From a smart point of view, or a planning of attack.
Yeah.
Or
They're
something.
bodyguards,
Yeah,
essentially.
yeah.
Protect.
They're brutes. They're not going to plan out an attack type thing. They're just there to hold the line.
So you've sat on the fence beautifully there.
Yep. No, I'm just throwing out. Some things because I went for the Gamorrean Guard. I'm just saying that you're more the strategic type fighter,
Silent but
whereas
violent.
we you're more ninja. We are more just brute strength.
Sure.
All right, so the concept of the team is based on the A team, okay? And the muscle is the B.A. Baracus character.
Mr. T, yeah.
So which of our two most closely resembles Mr. T?
Gamorrean Guard.
Yeah.
Done. There we go.
It's a good way to split it.
Yeah.
All right, the Wheelman is next.
Specialist.
All right, we had Boba Fett, IG-88. Frank, I didn't write down your decision.
Fair.
Who did you choose?
It was the Gronk power droid, wasn't it? The infiltrator.
Gronkaman.
The ultimate. The
Gronk.
one suspects the Gronk.
The Grok. The Grok.
It's always the butterfly. Nobody suspects the butterfly.
Boba Fett, IG-88, Gronk, People Tuner.
I like IG-88 just because he is that Swiss Army knife of what he can do.
He is IG-88 now is the Boba Fett of that universe.
Yeah, I think
right?
so, yeah.
Now that we've had a fully fledged series about
Yeah.
Boba Fett, it's taken that shine away from the mysterious character that didn't say anything. Now I believe it's fallen back on the secondary, in that lineup of 5. Who's the next one? It'd probably be IG-88. And the only other media, outside of the expanded universe is the bit in what's it called? Mando. Yeah, where he actually redeems himself and is taken over completely, and he's got little baby Yoda driving him.
Yeah.
and it's Taika Waititi. So
And honestly, if you haven't read the Tales of the Bounty Hunters, give that a whirl. It's highly recommend. It's just yeah. I was like captivated reading each page and like, oh my God, he's taking over the thing. And then it blows up. You know, it's like, oh, wow.
He did
like,
it. Boom.
Yeah. So incredible. So IG-88, we're happy with that, Scott?
Any rebuttals? Do we?
No, I'm fine with that.
Any arguments for Boba Fett being chosen as the
I
clone
mean,
for-
really, if you were doing this like based on their pure skills, you could argue that all 4 of these, it's just the bounty hunters. It's just a matter of which one misses out.
Yes.
Really?
Yep.
In terms of that.
Yep.
It's the lizard dude.
Boss, careful.
Boss. Ooh,
His
I
arms
don't
too
know.
long, mate.
Malcolm's a huge fan of Boss. So,
His arms are too long.
yeah.
All right, Wheelman. Who have we got?
Wheelman, we had listed the AT-AT pilot, Darth Vader himself, the Rancor Keeper, riding said Rancor. Did the Rancor have a name?
No.
He was just the keeper, wasn't he?
No, I mean as in the pet, the actual
boss.
monster
Oh,
itself.
I don't believe so. No, not that I know.
You're reading the expanded universe.
Oh,
He
no,
probably
he
had a
would
name
have a name.
somewhere
I'm
on
talking
the lines.
25 years ago, I
Let
read
us
it.
know. Someone out there will
Did the
know what the
Rancor have a
Rancor's
name?
name was.
Malachi, the Rancor Keeper does
Malachi?
have a name. Malachi.
No, the dark
That
elf.
might be the Rancor Keeper's
Yeah.
name. I think you're right. Yes. And then I had 4 Loam down as the last Wheelman.
Yeah. Well, let's cancel out Vader because
Vader's
he's already
almost the
been
leader.
chosen. So,
Well, yeah, I mean, the one that looks the most like the driver is the Rancor Keeper. I mean, he does. I mean, Forlom sounds like his credentials are there.
Sure, but I think the Rancor Keeper is the most sensible choice.
I like
Yeah.
it. I like it. No one's going to suspect the Rancor
He's
keeper.
his own man.
Will
He's,
he fit in any of the vehicles?
He will fit in the mouth of the Rancor if you push hard enough.
That's the Gamorrean guard that fits in the mouth of the Rancor.
Did he get eaten? What happened? No, he was crying.
No, he just cried.
He
When he
cried
cried.
his, yeah.
when he got
yeah.
He got
upset.
consoled by one of
yes.
Jabba's.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Entourage.
when his Rancor Old Yeller died,
That's right.
he
Yeah.
he was very upset.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. All right, Rancor Keeper and vehicle now.
Vehicle choices we had Slave 1, super iconic starship. The Imperial Shuttle, again, another very, very iconic, highly sought after toy for
Yeah,
collectors.
it's so big, man. So
It's enormous. The Imperial Cruiser, I'll have to Google that, mate, to see what that looks
Let
like.
me bring it up on the screen so you know what I'm talking about.
And rounding it out was the selection of Darth Vader's TIE Fighter.
Was Darth Vader's TIE Fighter a single-seater?
yes.
Yeah, it's definitely going to make for interesting companionship and close proximity travelling. I'm not too worried about everyone else's comfort on the pilot.
Yeah, Frank's just bringing up the Imperial Cruiser.
That's it there.
There it is. It looks like the slowest vehicle in the Star Wars universe.
I never said she was an attractive beast, but, she'll get you from A to B.
It's getting away slowly.
Yeah, you can tell this wasn't designed by Ralph McQuarrie.
Yeah. This was just, how do kids carry like 8 of these figures
Yeah.
around? It's almost a carry.
It's
Put
a
a
carry.
handle on the top. It's a carry case,
It's a carry
right?
case. Yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
So where are we at?
I think I think practically, Shuttle Tidarium or the Imperial Shuttle is probably the most sensible team vehicle.
I think it's a pretty solid choice.
I think it's a solid sort of.
I
team
forgot how
vehicle.
big. I saw that one and I forgot
Yeah.
how big it was because you look at the TIE fighters and stuff and you go, yeah, they're single pilot vehicles. If you've got your whole team of 4 to get around in, that's pretty close quarters. So I'm happy with the shuttle.
Okay.
I see the Imperial Shuttle as very industrious vehicle that, yes,
Yeah.
it is your pick up from the loading docks of the airport, shuttle your 10, 12 guys off, but then you've also got the Vader or the Moth or the Palpatine version, which is, plush and leather, and it's got the disco ball and the dance pole and all that
It's
sort
got
of
a
stuff
red
in
stripe
it.
down the side,
Yep,
so it goes
neon
faster.
lights flashing and all that sort of gear.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Cool.
There we
cool.
go.
All right, do you want to just shout them out again?
Recap it
So,
and Ben will take
Go from the
notes.
top.
so leader, we've got Darth Vader. Muscle, we've got Gamorrean Guard. Specialist, we've got IG-88. Wheelman, we've got the Rancor Keeper.
Love it. Love it.
And vehicle, we have the Imperial Shuttle. Very, very cool.
Good job.
I like it. So next time we do the the team will obviously do the heroic
Yeah.
characters from the Star Wars universe. And eventually, once we've done enough, we're going to mix the teams together and circle back and make a bit of fun.
Do like
Beautiful.
a brackets thing.
Yes.
You know, this,
All right.
this team versus
take
that team.
team up against team. Fantastic. Now, it's time for us to lock away our movie ratings for 2025. And we're going to go through this. Are we going to go through everything on this list or just pick out some of the ones?
No.
Let us. Can I start? I mean, we've got. I don't know if anyone wants to touch on Minecraft movie, but I want to go to Mickey 17, which is a Robert Pattinson film by Bo-Han Woo.
I forget the director.
Yeah,
but
but
you
he's
are right
that
with Rob Pattinson.
Korean director. He's
Yep.
done Parasite. I think he did maybe Snowpiercer, that sort of style. Very, very acclaimed, very unique style. And this is the story about signing up for essentially dangerous missions, and if you die, they reclone your body and send you out again.
That
Sam Rockwell film?
No, is it
Jake
Sam
Rockwell?
No, it's not that one. It's
So good. Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise.
Oh, yes. I know the one you're
Emily
talking about.
Blunt.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Such a good film.
Obsidian?
No,
Oblivion?
no. I watched it the
Angel
other
of
day.
Verdun.
Nah.
That's her character. It's Edge of Tomorrow.
Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh, Edge of
that's the one.
Tomorrow.
It's-
Bloody great
it's
But he
one-
keeps reliving that
Yes,
day.
yes,
Yeah, this
yeah.
is slightly different in that
Yeah.
if you die, they just
Come
reboot
back
you.
again, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Oh, that sounds really interesting.
It
yeah.
looks fantastic. And the kicker is, so I think it might even have Mark Ruffalo in it. I think it's got Mark Ruffalo. It looks fantastic. But the kicker is when they reboot him. So basically, you die, you get rebooted. They reboot him, but the other one hasn't died. So there's two
Ends
of them
up being-
now getting around. And
Oh,
that
like-
causes...
Spoiler alert, Moon.
Yeah, like Moon. That's
Yeah,
right. Yeah, that's
yeah,
the Sam
yeah,
Rockwell one I
yeah.
was thinking of.
Ooh.
So that's where I think the hijinks entails.
Right.
But that looks fantastic. April 18. I'm going to give that a hit. I think it's going to be zany and a little bit out of the box.
Yep.
And I think out of this list, that's going to be up there with my top 3 films of the year.
Love Groundhog Day. I'm going to give this a hit as well.
Yep. You said Minecraft movie. I'm going to say, wow, that's going to suck. And I love Jack Black, but
Jason Momoa.
or
Nah.
Jack Black. No, not even Momoa can say it. Momoa's in there because he's a name. But I just, why? Why does that movie even exist?
Well, it's a popular franchise. I will be interested if my kids want to see this, and I'll take them along. I laughed at the trailer. Like, there were elements of that I laughed at. Like, he crafts something and uses up some item. And that's a reference to the game.
Yeah.
Like, you've used up some rare...
I just feel like the target audience, like your kids, for example, aren't going to want to see that movie. I'll be very curious.
Yeah,
and,
I don't think they will
prove me
either.
wrong,
Yeah.
but I just feel like you just go, the target audience, they're not going to care.
Could be quite right.
Yep.
Kids are kids' age are going to more likely to watch it on Netflix or Disney or Prime or whatever
Yeah,
than
fair.
actually pay to see it.
Go to the
Sure.
cinemas.
Right. So anyway. that's just
Robbie
my 2
loves
cents.
cinema. He was asking about Lex Radical Rewind.
Yeah, cool.
He loves it. That he'll be Callum won't see that in a heartbeat. Like, there's no chance. But Robbie, that could be his pick out of these films that are up here. Bad Guys 2, I think he'll probably pick, but maybe Smurfs. But yeah, I think he would enjoy it, to be honest. But I'll come back,
see.
circle back.
We'll see.
Trent, Ben, I'll get you guys to have a quick chat about Red Hulk Brand New World, if you don't mind. We had a chat
Oh,
about
we
it
did.
last week.
Yes.
So, not a review, but
Yeah.
what did you give it a score out of 19?
Look, I'd give it a probably a 13 out of 19, something
Yeah.
of that ilk. It was it felt a little bit like paint by numbers to some extent, and I mean, I must admit, I'm the first one probably to critique a franchise where it just feels like something they've done before, and it was a bit of that feel for me. I enjoyed it. I sat there and I enjoyed it. There were some moments that I thought were a bit maybe not executed as well as it could have been. I think I agree with your sentiments about the Sam Wilson character. Probably wasn't as inspirational as sort of what we got from the Captain America Steve Rogers arc, and particularly with that first film. But it was entertaining. I'm glad I saw it. I enjoyed Harrison Ford. I enjoyed some of the twists, the sort of twists and seeing. I mean, when you say twists, probably seeing characters I didn't know were going to be in there show up, like the leader. 13 out of 19.
Yeah, okay.
Would give it 13 out of 19 as well, but I fell asleep, so that takes it down a notch. So give it 12 out of 19. Look, the experience to go out and have dinner with everybody, to make a bit of a night out of it, to go and catch up with everybody and see it all together at once. It was more of a highlight than the movie itself. Look, I had hopes that it would be really good, but it just, it was kind of slow. I think you guys summed it up really well with your, it wasn't the Captain America we all aspire to, and it just didn't get to that bit. He was too questioning and things, and I mean, I know that's sort of a storyline in itself, but it just it wasn't great to be the first one where he's got his name in the solo title. And the fact that they heavily promoted Red Hulk on all the posters and things, and then to only see him for less than 5 minutes.
He should have been the surprise.
Yeah, it was.
And that's, again, trailers and marketing. They want people to see it. I mean, I probably was more inclined to see it knowing Red Hulk was in there, so it probably worked on me.
Yep.
But, yeah, as an experience, it would have been much better if I didn't know. I think I would have enjoyed the film more, perhaps.
I mean, I'm not going to sort of go over what we said last week, so I'm just going to say 12.
Yeah.
For me.
Yeah, 11, 12, that's what it is. It's mediocre at best. March on to the next one.
Correct.
Speaking of the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Thunderbolts, which has been described as, I think by maybe Florence Pugh, as a Marvel film done as an independent film. And that kind of excites me. Something different. Maybe, if it's got a bit more of that grounded indie vibe, it might just feel a little bit less the same or generic, or, just be able to differentiate itself. I haven't been enamored by what I've seen so far. So I'm going to rate it. I'm going to rank it as probably, like a similar. I'm going to call it mediocre fare, but I'm hoping it ranks higher than what Captain America did. I'm hoping I can give that one 15 plus. Is what I'm wanting.
For sure. Going into Thunderbolts, low expectations, but hopefully I come out excited and I want to know more type thing, because it's the Suicide Squad of Marvel sort of thing. It looks quite quirky. It's got some cool actors in it. It looks funny, black comedy style and things, and it might be really good. So fingers crossed.
Yeah, I think if we all hadn't been ruined by the Suicide Squad experience that we've had over the last sort of 5-6 years, then we'd probably be a bit more excited of this. I love, there's some really David Harbour, Florence Pugh, Winter Soldier. I forget his actual name right now, but you know what? There's some good. Yeah, Scott's trying to think of it and can't. Bucky Barnes, that's the character's
Sebastian
name.
Stan.
Sebastian Stan. Mark Hamill, yeah. The new Mark Hamill, yeah. There's some really good, and some of these characters we've seen in lots of other things. I think they're going to be given a lot to do, and it is that ensemble cast. And for those who don't know the title, when you look at it, Thunderbolt's got an asterisk next to it. There was some marketing that sort of revealed what that asterisk is actually for, and it's asterisk. Sort of a subtitle, The Avengers Were Not Available. Yeah. Is what that stands for.
Yeah.
So that gives you an idea of the sort of tone going into it. So I think, a bit like Trent, I'm cautious, but, I'll hopefully go for 15.
Sounds like they're very self-aware, given that title.
And there's lines in it where you just go, hey, these guys, does any of us fly? No. Do any of us shoot lasers? No. So we all just jump and have guns? That sort of humor. It should be half decent.
I'm going to say 15. It'll be a hit. It really needs to be the film that kicks Marvel back into gear.
Now that Guardians of the Galaxy is complete, this needs to take its spot.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. Yep. They do it right.
Cool.
Ben, I didn't get a score from you for this one, mate.
15.
15?
Yeah, put 15.
All right, so we've all chosen 15,
Yep.
and hopefully a hit. So I think Marvel and a lot of movie goers will be hanging a lot on this one to be successful.
Yeah. just to briefly touch on the John Wick ballerina. That should be interesting, but there's no way I'm paying money to see it. I'll catch it on streaming.
Does that have Keanu Reeves in it?
I have no idea.
I believe it does.
Okay.
Right.
So it's a part of the John Wick universe before the end of John Wick 4?
Yes.
Okay.
How to Train Your Dragon. My kids will be quite excited to see that because they were really young when that franchise really, got going. So when they were really young, they watched all the cartoons.
Yeah.
We showed some of the
They did a series as well, didn't they?
Yeah. Oh, there's so much, and for them to see it now in like live action, and I've seen a bit of it, like trailers and stuff.
Looks good.
It looks really
Yeah.
good. It looks incredibly faithful. So I think that's one for my kids, and another one for my kids as well is Jurassic World Rebirth. I'll happily take them to the movies to see that. That's going to be at best 12 out of 10, 19, but Jurassic, yeah. But I'm excited to see it. I like that franchise. I'm not going in with big expectations, but I just, I'm a supporter of.
I feel like that's because of the dino aspect. It is probably one you want to see on the big screen with the big sound and feel the roar and that sort of stuff.
Scarlett Johansson's going to be in it?
Yeah,
Yes.
Scarlett Johansson. I think I'm hoping I think realistically 12, 13 is about where it probably will sit. I'm hoping for more. I just love it if the special effects build on, blow us away, right? Like, remember 1993 Jurassic Park.
Still holds
It
up.
holds. I mean, it's probably one of the best special effects films ever made. I think it's in that category of early CGI. And
Brother, it's better than half the CG garbage we get these days.
100%.
I'm looking at you, Red Hulk, Captain America.
100%, because I mean they put a lot of thought and effort and into all of the way they would do it to make it, whatever mechanism gives you the best. Now they just give it. I mean, I know a lot of work goes into the animation, but it does look janky. I mean, just the settings that they put these things into, like the bloody what is it? Cherry blossoms that they tried to shoehorn in the whole way through because there was going to be this moment at the end that Liv Tyler loved the cherry blossoms. But those wide shots just look like you're in a Final Fantasy game.
Yep.
Like they don't look real. Nothing feels right.
Yep.
It's created in a computer. Whereas Jurassic Park, all those shots were meticulously planned to be, here's the camera shot, and we're going to composite this in and each. Whereas now they just go, let's just do it all
on green
CG.
screen.
All right?
That's another thing.
So noticeable.
Seeing Captain America on the IMAX screen did it
It didn't do
justice.
it any favors.
It was almost worse seeing it on the bigger screen than potentially seeing it on your own home screen because it was too obvious to see the glitches and the concerns of the film.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anyway.
So Jurassic World, I'm going to give it a 12. I'm going to go see it. I want to be wowed like I was wowed in '93. Maybe not to that extent. Not to that extent, but I want it to raise the bar.
Yep.
I want it to have a couple of scenes where I'm like, wow, how did they do that?
I'm looking forward to because they've got different dinosaurs this time. They're bringing back the Spinosauruses and things, and there's like 3 of them circling the boat. That alone excites me.
Okay.
So instead. We've had enough T-Rex. We've had enough,
He'll be in there.
things. But now,
watch.
I'm excited to see something different.
Okay.
Anyway, only time will tell, I guess. And I'll level it up by what my kids walk out.
Sure, that's fair. That's
hyped.
Yeah, I get that. Are we doing rankings? Does anyone else want to rank?
Yeah, sorry, is that a 12?
I'll give it a
hit?
12.
Hit or
no? Look, I think it'll be. I think it'll be a commercial success. I think it'll be a hit. I think people will see it. I don't think the critics will like it.
I'll say hit for me.
Yep. Frank?
I'm just a bit cooked on these films, to be honest. I was a big dinosaur fan as a kid. 93 hit as a perfect time for me. And I just, after we've had 3 of, what's his name? Star-Lord, training velociraptors and crap like that. I love Scarlett Johansson. I'd like for it to be successful for her, but I'm feeling this is going to be a 10, to be honest. Like, I'll probably still go see it just for that sort of big cinema experience, but the fact that they haven't continued on from they get, there's another mysterious island. You're like, come on, guys. Like, you know what would have excited me? Do this movie and dinosaurs are in the world, and just accept that in the same way that you can hit a cat on the street. Oh, damn it, I've run over an ankylosaurus and now I've got a flat tire. That's a cool movie. I'd love to see that. This doesn't feel like it's that.
Hit or shit.
It'll be shit.
Yeah, I got to agree, mate. I am burnt out on this franchise. It's way too early for a reboot at this stage. Like, let's have a 5-year breather. I mean, it's been, 18 months since the last film came out. Put it to bed for a while. Let people forget about it. The only way this franchise can possibly get any better is if we start riding dinosaurs with lasers and armor and shit like that. Okay?
Introduce the rule-ons.
Dino
and,
Riders.
Dino
100%. Do that to 19 out of 19. But I feel sorry for Scarlett Johansson. She's chasing a franchise to make her own. She's too late coming into this. This is... it's not going to fail at the box office.
It's a pretty good check, I reckon. It's a pretty good payday.
Marvel days are over for her, so she needs to look for the next.
I'm going to say it's a 9 out of 19.
Yep. Okay. Moving on to the Superman film, July 11, James Gunn. I don't know what to make of this. I like a lot about it, and then I see some of it. And
what are you seeing? Like behind the scenes stuff?
No, I'm seeing breakdowns of the trailer of what Superman looks like when he's flying face first into a camera. And have you seen those shots? Have you seen?
I don't look too deep.
Okay,
those.
so there's some. They're basically there's a shot of. I think most of this looks fine, and I like the style, I like the tone, all of that. There's a shot of Superman, and basically what you've got is you see him face first, and the camera's panning away as he's flying towards it, and he does a little spinny spin, and he flies towards the camera, and that's about it. And then people have grabbed that, and they've made fun of it because
his face looks distorted.
His face
if you slow it down and you pick the right frame and stuff, it looks funny, and they've accused people of CGing the face and
all of that stuff. Yeah. And then they put it next to Christopher Reeve, and then like, this is what they did in '78.
Christopher Reeve was lying on top of a box.
I know,
that revolution, that no one had perfected flying in cinema until Christopher Reeve did, and then that was the standard for many years.
Yeah.
So cinema magic.
In response to that, though, James Gunn came out and basically said, there's no CG in that shot.
Yeah, no, I get it.
That's just him, and they've obviously done wind effects and that sort of stuff. Like, those YouTube people that want you to watch that because their whole thing is around trying to tear stuff down.
I get that. I guess it's a style and a tone that I'm not quite. Look, I'm not the biggest James Gunn fan. I haven't watched Guardians of the Galaxy 3 because I started watching the first 10 minutes.
Dude, it is
probably the best one.
No, but it annoyed me. His writing annoyed me, and the characterizations annoyed me, so I turned it off.
Okay,
that's it. Like, so I there are things he does as a filmmaker, more so from the writing perspective, that bother me. He did it to me in Peacemaker. He did it to me in The Suicide Squad. He did it to me in early Guardians of the Galaxy. Maybe that's just me, and that's just, he rubs me up the wrong way. Just like I couldn't go and see bloody Happy Gilmore, Adam Sandler in that film. I couldn't do it because I can't watch him. So I couldn't go to the Days Video Graveyard when you're like, he's in The Wedding Singer, and I'm like, I can't watch him.
Singer.
I can't watch him.
What? Okay.
This might be more about me. That's what I'm trying to say. But I don't know what to make of it. I want to love it. I hope I'm going to go see this film. I'm going to be lined up very early on to see this. And I want it to be a hit. I'm nervous. I'm not sure it's going to get good reviews. But I want this to be a hit, and I want to give it an 18. I want to say this is going to be an 18 for me.
Yep.
And I think it needs to be a 16, 17, 18, 19 hit. It needs to have fans going to see it. It needs to make box office money. But I think importantly, it needs to be at least not panned by the critics. Yep. It needs to be accepted as doing something to sort of save Superman, save the DC universe. Because this could set a very bad precedent if it's not good.
Yep.
Yeah. There's not much else to say after Trent's 11 out of 19 rant. But
Zing.
But this has to be a 16, 17 out of 19. Has to be because in order to get box office numbers, you need comic book fans like Dirty Uncle Mitch to repeat watchings, diehard Superman fans to go back and watch, to promote it on their socials to say, guys, big Superman fan here, I freaking loved it. Yeah. Go and see it. You know, I'm going a second time, come with me. Yeah. You know, hey, cousin, auntie, Beth, come and see it with me. You know, like they need to bring people together to see it, because if they don't get this right, I'm worried this may put DC behind years and years. You know,
I don't even think it's this movie bombs, and Warner Brothers as a company will be dissolved in the same way that who was the other one Disney bought out recently? Fox. Before the decade is out, Warner Brothers goes away if this movie doesn't make bank.
Big call. Okay.
We've got 3 Marvel movies on the list, I think.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, and 1 DC. So it has to please get it right, at least, you know. So
yeah.
Right. What's your score, mate?
16 out of 19. Yep. But I genuinely want to say 18. Yep. You know, I want to come out being like, that was heaps better than I thought. You know, I want to go and see it and then go home, gather up the family and take them.
Go again.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's the sort of film I need out of this, because it just has to be good.
You hear all those stories of people who went to see Endgame, you know, 15 times or whatever it is. This movie needs to do that.
I came out of Endgame and things like, I don't know how to feel. And then talking with my father-in-law, I'm like, I don't know how to feel because I've never felt that way in a film before. Like
exactly.
I need that was just amazing. That was an amazing emotion. I can't remember the last time I felt that way watching a film, you know. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm gonna say 17. James Gunn does rub me the right way, to use your phrase. I'm a fan of his style, and even some of his lesser lights like Suicide Squad and stuff. There was enough redeeming qualities in there for me. And I think with him being granted full creative control, not having to play in the Marvel sandbox, he would have said to DC, "Give me the keys, and I'm driving." I think there's a really good chance that this is what everyone's hoping it is.
Whatever you want to say, I mean, we've been listening to a lot of What Went Wrong about movie making, brilliant podcast, go check it out. Yep. What Went Wrong, Chris Winterbaum and Lizzie Bassett changes her name, gets married partway through. There's a lot to be said when you look back at movies that haven't come out well. There's a lot of fingers in the pie telling people to do different things. You know, June, right? Yep. David Lynch did not have final cut, and he kind of didn't care at the end because
he walked away.
He basically walked away, right? There's all these things that go on, you know.
But then on the flip side, I've just listened to The Shining, and Stanley Kubrick had 100%.
Yeah.
Like he retook that waterfall,
right?
that waterfall of blood that comes down the stairs. They did like that 100 times. Every 3 or 4 days was the
he's a perfectionist.
turnaround of painting all the
real
walls.
Blood, by the way.
Gaining enough of that liquid to run down the stairs, and then reshoot it again. Just so
bit of both. Yep. But I think I think directors like that, they're problematic, right?
Robots.
They might make amazing films, but they're hard to work with, and there's various issues with the studios that would be problematic. But I think what you're saying there is they made an amazing film. I know it probably wasn't done in the right way, but where there's too much meddling, and you know, studio wants this, and the writers wanted that, and then the actors, you know, were told this, and this changed, and this cut, that is problematic. I think creative control is a better sign for a good finished product, I think.
Yep, we'll get to find out.
All right, for me, Superman will be... It was an 18, okay? And then we saw Nathan Fillion's stupid bloody wig as Guy Gardner. Loses 2 points. I don't care if it's comic book accurate. There's better interpretations of Guy Gardner out there they could have used in the film. I really want this movie to succeed. Like, it has to do really, really well. It's got to be received by everybody and lauded after, and we have to leave the film, as Ben said, wanting to see more, but we need more content. Like we want to be hungry for more content from DC as a result of this film.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on to
Let's go back to 28 years later.
Okay, 28 years later. I
28
haven't seen
years
any
later.
of these.
Oh, dude,
in the
you're missing
franchise.
out. So think Walking Dead, right? Before I knew about Walking Dead, it was probably being made into a comic book back then. But we had 28 Days Later, which was the insomniac wake up and oh my gosh, the world has turned into zombies. I've just
Isn't
woken
that,
up. It's Walking Dead.
What's that other film? Shaun of the Dead.
Yeah, but that was a
that a
parody.
rip-off?
that was a rip-off
Right.
of that. So in 28 days later, he wakes up from surgery, and there's no one in the hospital.
Oh, that's like The
walks
Walking
around. Oh my god!
Keep up. Keep
Right.
up.
Okay.
And wakes up in the surgery, and then realizes zombie apocalypse, and then it goes from there, right? Then you had 28
Months later?
weeks later,
Weeks
later,
yes.
which was pretty darn good as well.
Okay.
Like it was really good. And I think, some films, they leave it too long. They leave it too long between sequels and things like that. This one coming out 28 years later is just brilliant. And this you can make into the mutation of the zombies and things like that. I'm really intrigued. I rate this pretty high. I think this is going to be a 17 out of 19 film and a hit to fans like myself. Maybe not, critics that are looking for a Oscar-winning performance, so to speak. But I think it'll make its money back, and they'll review how can we keep this franchise going for another
28 decades later.
28 light years later.
Okay.
sort of thing.
I'm intrigued. I must check out the others leading.
So, funnily enough, the announcement of this, people were like, okay, I want to watch 28 Days Later. That's the first one. No, you can't find it anywhere. It's not on streaming because it was released in all these different releases and things like that. So different benefactors like Fox and whatever have got it, and so no one's got the actual rights for it. Therefore, people are selling the DVD. So I've got the DVD at home or whatever, selling it for like $50 USD.
Yeah, right.
Because and then the
you go.
VHS is astronomical, like tenfold of that. But you can readily watch 28 weeks later on any streaming service you like.
There you go.
Pick or choose. But it's just funny how these things that are that won't stupid idea, just brush it on the table. No one wants to see another zombie
now
movie.
It's big money.
And now it's sought after and made something of it. So, and I think made better because of The Walking Dead, because of the because of other films that have helped its limelight of what a good zombie film is.
Well, at 28 years later, zombies are no doubt integrated into society, which is what the dinosaurs should have been doing and the Jurassic Park people should have done. 28 years later in dinosaur land.
Yeah,
Cybernetic implants.
There you go. Jurassic World in 28 years later. Like,
cross those two over. Perfect.
All right.
Scotty, what do you reckon of that?
Yeah, I'm pretty keen to see 28 Days Later. I've seen the previous films, and 28 Days Later has some real iconic footage involved. London Bridge, shut down London. God only knows how they managed to film a live London street that looked like it was completely desolate in the middle of the day. Really, really good work. I'm super keen to see this. Not sure if I'll see it at the cinema, but it'll be like a Saturday morning thing when Joe's gone off to the horses or something like that. I'll sit down and watch it as a horror film.
And this is a cool zombie film where the zombies are fast. Like they hear noises and they're like, they're crazy, hyped up and just so crazy running and anticipation and things like that. So they're fast zombies. They're not that slow walking, boring one. So it'll be interesting what mutation they take on for this one.
Love it. Good one. All right, quickly on Fantastic Four, July 25th. I think this will be a hit. I think it won't fall into that trap for me of being generic feeling. I think it'll look unique. It'll feel unique. I'm going to give this one an 18 out of 19 with the possibility of a 19 banger. So I have high hopes. This is probably in my top film that I think we're going to get out of this list. I think this will be the best, maybe fighting it out with Mickey 17, but very, very excited for this one. Yeah. Maybe even a little bit more so than Superman, which is just that trepidation for Superman. I think I feel more comfortable with this one.
There's a lot more riding on Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is going to be really good. This is definitely, for me, the highest rating one that I think for this year. So 18 out of 19. Definitely a hit. It needs to be a hit for some of the oldest core group of the Marvel Universe.
Some of the oldest people at this table, yeah.
And
Shut the hell up, Frank Allen.
it needs to.
He's looking at his phone, and I said that, and he's just boom.
It needs to be a hit so that we've got content for the next podcast or whatever. Because if it's bad, I don't think we're going to get off that train for a long time.
If it's bad, I'm going to shit on it for the rest of the year.
Exactly. We've had
experience at
this will be the fourth time they've in our era. I know there's been 80s ones and things, but this is the fourth modern version.
Fourth reboot.
Yes.
Or launch. Yes.
Yeah. So they got to get it right.
Yep. I think the anticipation and the wait for this after all those failed reboots, and now that it's come back to Marvel, is a bit like when Tom Holland first signed on. They just went a non Marvel are running Spider-Man, and look how well that turned out. Marvel have got these guys back under their banner, and I just think it's even say what you will about the casting, and I know people have opinions on that, but that trailer did huge numbers, and I think it's just the numbers are only gonna go up. So it's an 18.
My only other thing is July is pretty heavily stacked.
It's a big month, isn't it? You got Jurassic Park on July 2, Superman on July 11, July 25 is Fantastic Four. Like, whew, that's a fair few movie tickets.
Yeah. That's the blockbuster month. Some interesting other shout-outs. Sorry, do you have a number for...
No, I was going to say, moving on from the Fantastic Four, Karate Kid Legends.
Karate Kid Legends. There's a few interesting things here where like it's stuff like that where you go, oh, okay, Karate Kid Legends, right? Okay, we know Karate Kid's had a number of movies and the Cobra Kai TV show tie-in. Then we go to things like The Naked Gun. I mean, that's like a Leslie Nielsen.
No, it has to be Leslie Nielsen or nothing.
Yeah,
so
that's
I've
right.
Got no
that
interest.
is one of my favourite comedies in the world. Like, it is Leslie Nielsen in that era made some of the greatest comedy films.
Is it a dumb comedy like the first one? Like,
It's
what
in-
is this? Other
it's
than
in
that
pink.
title screen, I don't know anything about
The fact
it.
that they're
Like a remake of The Naked Gun. Has to be.
the fact that the logo is in pink. I think that's
That's
fully
the colour.
leaning to.
Is it going to be like a gritty John Wick reboot?
No,
of
no,
it?
it's like
It's literally, you imagine when they did the Get Smart film with Dwayne Johnson, right? And Steve
look how
Carell.
well that thing did.
Yeah, but that is literally, they just tried to redo Get Smart. That's what it was, like a modern version of a 60s TV show. That's what this is going to be. It's going to be a remake of...
I just don't think the Mel Brooks or the Airplane, Robin Hood Men in Tights, I just don't think those movies fly anymore. I don't in the current
they'll be
cinema
redone
space,
to the modern sensibilities.
Yeah, I just don't feel that outside of streaming, I don't feel there's a
people
cinema
aren't
audience.
people aren't
going,
lining up to pay for those.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Unless it's a Smurfs or something where you can take your whole family.
Yep.
They're not lining up for a slapstick comedy, especially that slapstick. You watch one of the greatest movies ever, Wrongfully Accused.
Yeah.
You talk about
so good.
5 laughs in half a minute like that. Can you rake up all those leaves and put them through for processing and things? Like, he just rattles off 10 things and 9 of them are hilarious. Just crazy.
2025, The Naked Gun. All right.
Here we go.
Who's cast? I don't know nothing about it.
Seth MacFarlane is listed as one of the writers for the film.
Okay.
It's listed as the 4th film in the franchise, and
Where'd they go?
28 years later, right?
33 and a third.
I'd ask you guys to sort of list the prime character, like who's the lead character here or the lead actor. But there's not a chance on God's green earth you're going to choose Liam Neeson as a Frank Drebin character.
This is what I mean.
He's 120 years old.
Wow.
And coming back from the 80s, Pamela Anderson
Oh man.
See,
as the Priscilla
run
Presley character.
critical acclaim in one of her recent films.
she did. Yeah.
Was that the one with... No, let's not go there. Cody Rhodes, Busta Rhymes, It's an all-star cast,
Wow.
really.
Yeah, I don't know what to make of that. We've got to see a trailer to kind of
Yeah.
visualize or contextualize it. Some other interesting ones here that I'm just going to point out. Tron Ares, we're getting a new Tron film in October 10. The Running Man, that's a famous
Why?
Schwarzenegger
Why are we
film.
making this film again?
No,
The Running
the
Man?
Running Man.
It's so bloody good as it is.
Yeah, the storyline is interesting, but I feel I've seen it already. A dozen times throughout the years.
Yeah. Well, it's
Different
been redone.
reiterations and things. But yeah, anyway.
Arnie is perfect in that role. It doesn't get any better as an 80s movie. It does not. I think this is going to be another Total Recall, like with Colin Farrell.
They peaked at Gamer. You can't get a better movie of that scenario than Gamer. I don't think.
No one's seen Gamer, Ben.
Dude, Gamer is awesome. Gamer's
Who's
when
in that?
What's your score out of 19 for
Jake
Gamer?
19 out of 19. 100%. Gamer is amazing. Gamer has got the Dexter in it.
All
as
right,
the bad
Michael
guy.
Yeah.
And one of the action film guys. They put on like VR headsets, things like regular people like you
Gerald
and me.
Butler.
Gerald Butler.
Gerald
there you go.
Terry
Yeah.
Crews.
And
Ludicrous.
So they put it to people like you and me.
No,
who
that's the character. That's an actor.
okay,
Ludicrous, not the
right.
movie plot.
people like you and me put on gamer VR headsets, but in reality, the people they're playing are real life people. It's like it's like that.
Ready Player One?
Yeah, but what before? Before like on
Yeah.
movie before.
So I put on a headset.
Yep.
I go into a game. I'm playing against Frank.
No, yeah, but
What do you mean?
the characters you are playing. So the character
I
you
go
are
into
playing
a real person.
is a real person.
How do I go into them?
They're dialed into
Avatar,
the
man.
they're an avatar,
Right,
and they
they're
can't
just like
control themselves.
Right. So you.
So that you say pick up
okay.
that gun, and they're like, "Ugh, I have to pick up that gun.
Oh, right. Wow,
And
that's
there's
dark.
there's people like that are prisoners that are just walking around and they can't do a thing. They can't
They're just
think for themselves, and then they just get run over by a car, and like it's tragic because they
Gamer,
can't control their own body. And it's an amazing movie. What year is it from? Sorry, Scott.
2009.
There you
Okay,
go.
Gamer.
100%.
There you
Gamer is fantastic. Moving right along, Avatar, Fire, Earth, Water,
Has
Ash,
anyone seen
whatever.
the second Avatar?
Yeah, I saw it.
There's a second
it-
Avatar.
Yeah,
Is it any good?
it's okay. It's the retelling. It's like It's like Evil Dead 2. It's the
Yeah.
same storyline as the first one.
But just
But,
underwater.
Yeah, pretty much.
James Cameron loves
Um,
filming shit underwater, doesn't he?
I will
it's
go
good.
and see this because I love the mechs and things like that in these
Are
films.
there mechs in the second one?
A couple. Not enough. But again, for my
Gotta work out
kids,
if it's
my
worth
kids,
my 4-hour investment.
come and see this for my family because they.
Fire and Ash. This has got to be volcanoes and stuff like
I hope
that.
so. I
Yeah.
hope so.
Fire Max. Yeah.
Fire mechs.
Yeah.
Cool.
The visually entertaining, but yeah.
Is that what the fourth movie is? The water guys and the fire guys come together
We'll see,
and
we'll see.
Do they have
round the
little
whole thing
like
out?
rubs on their chest where you rub to see who's going to win?
Well, he keeps
Wood.
trying to say, no, this isn't, Avatar The Last Airbender, but he's using water and fire.
Yeah, that's a good
Like,
point. Yeah,
Come on.
Yeah. All right, let's finish it on a high.
All right.
Toxic Avenger.
Oh, yeah.
The
Now
Toxic
this-
Crusader or Avenger? Toxic
He's the Avenger.
Avenger. Yes.
Toxic Avenger.
Yeah.
Whoa. We've just
watched the
watched
trailer.
a 1 minute teaser trailer. What do you guys think?
Well, it's very trauma.
Yes.
I'm traumatized by
yeah,
what I've seen.
I love it, man. I'm hyped. If you've seen the Robert Rodriguez Power
Splatterhouse.
Splatterhouse
Splatter.
films, what are they called?
There's like
The Grindhouse.
Grindhouse.
Planet Terror.
Planetera and
Death Proof.
Death Proof.
Death Proof, yeah.
It's very
Kurt
on
Russell was
those.
so good
Yeah.
in that movie.
It's very on those terms. I cannot wait to see this. It's that Karate Kid film, the Kickstarter one. Not Cobra Kai. Why is that? It's that there's that he drives around a Pontiac and things, and he's like a super. He's the skateboard goes underneath the car, and the cop's like, oh, this and he just kicks the skateboard, and the car flips up and flies away. Oh, dude.
What are you talking about?
It's like
No more acid for this man.
it's that Colin Betts delivery.
I think it's the 4 beer cans that are empty in front of you. Well, why Ben finds out what exactly he was talking about.
So this is Peter Dinklage.
Peter Dinklage is
as
Toxic.
the title character, and if you haven't seen the 1 minute trailer, not safe for The Office, not safe for kids. It is crazy. I don't quite know.
Fury.
Oh, of course.
Kung Fury. Honestly, have you guys not seen Kung Fury?
I think I have
Not
seen
not
it.
today. I haven't watched it.
Oh.
No.
Or am I getting that one confused with Shaolin Soccer? Like, is it that style of thing?
Kung Fury is like the best movie.
Okay.
Halfway through the film, like they like decide, we can't do this, so they, it's like sizzle reel, but the reel burns, and then all of a sudden he's fighting like laser dinosaurs and things. Like it cuts to the end. They cut out like a whole portion of the film. It's hilarious. It's amazing. Kung Fury. Stop listening to us and go and check out Kung Fury. It's 100% like what this Trauma film is.
Okay.
It's just amazing.
Yeah, it certainly looks very in the style of a Trauma film, but modern sensibilities, and it's going to be a weird ride.
Yeah.
I mean, a radioactive mop. Just imagine what that will do to people in a Trauma world.
Yeah, you get to see a little bit,
get a
of that in
taster
the
of
trailer.
what that's going to look like.
It's going to make Jaws drop, I would think.
Well, yeah. Yeah. I
Give
think
this
there's
man a
something-
cookie.
I think there's something in that. Just quickly, we saw some shots from Mortal Kombat 2.
Yes.
Carl Urban, our friend, our New Zealand buddy Carl, as Johnny Cage. And we saw a little glimpse of Shao Kahn.
and Princess Katana as well.
Katana,
who's
yeah.
looking
It
very
looks-
nice. The skins of those characters have already dropped in the game, which I find amusing because the movie hasn't even come out yet. But yeah, again, they're just still shots, not a trailer or anything. I'm down, and that's obviously next year when that comes out because that's not on our.
Very,
not
very.
on our
Something to
list.
look forward to anyway.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's
Yep.
it.
Yep.
Kung Fury is available on YouTube in full length. It goes for about half an hour. It's not very long. Check it out.
It must be quality if it's available for free.
Yeah.
I'm going to show these boys a trailer, and by the next episode, they would have watched it 4 times.
Yeah. Wonderful. All right. On that note, any final shout outs? Miscellaneous business?
Let's, let's
Creeping up close to the Adelaide Toy and Comic Fair.
Oh, yep.
yeah, that's about 2 or 3 weeks away at this
Yeah.
point.
Is that right?
Yes,
Soon.
it's coming up.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Yep.
Wanted to shout out Matty Till and his upcoming adventure with a shitbox rally.
Shitbox Rally, yeah.
The
not
guys are
far
still
away.
soliciting and happy to accept any donations if you've got any, any sort of spare change to help them out for their great cause. We're going to make a donation very, very shortly. We've decided on an amount we're going to offer up, and we'll put that across to the boys to
Very
help
good,
them out.
very good.
And,
Yes. For a good cause.
I think once it's all done and dusted and it's all over, once he's finished his grand adventure, maybe we'll get Matt back to
Tell
give us some
tales.
toils.
I'm sure there'll be some interesting stories, no doubt, from that style of racing. If he comes back, let's hope. I'm sure they're all.
Don't jinx it.
No, I'm sure they'll make that thing keep moving, or they'll tow it with another shitbox.
Why not?
So I'm sure it'll be in good hands. Wonderful. All right.
That's that.
Final shout out to Colin Betts for the massive
Still
box
recovering.
of goodies. I had to build a second wing on my toy collection to fit it all in. But no, wonderful. Thank you, Colin. Absolutely amazing. All right. Sorry about that. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to another episode of Toy Power, and to all our patrons, thank you so much for ongoing support and chatter on the Discord. Stay safe, take care of one another, and we will see you around the toy aisles.
And until next time, good journey!
You can find the Toy Power team at all the usual online places. Facebook.com/Toy Power Podcast, at Toy Power Podcast on both Twitter and Instagram, or have your say and email us, toypowerpodcast@gmail.com. Subscribe to the show on both iTunes and Stitcher, and please leave us a review. Otherwise, we just assume we're awesome.